I am happy to be joined by two heavyweights in the industry, Elie Habib and Joe Kawkabani, who in November sort of shocked the industry a bit by announcing that they were going to merge their two brands, which is great news for us in the Middle East, that we had a heavyweight champion for content. So it's great that now we can talk to both of you directly and just find out. I guess it's more the devil in the detail, the nuts and bolts of what's going to happen. So thank you first for joining us on this call. It's great to have you. I'm in Dubai. Elie, you are currently in?
I'm in Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi. And Joe, you are?
I'm in Dubai.
You're in Dubai, okay, just down the road. Okay, so if we get straight into it, I mean, obviously it's great news. We've got two sort of local brands coming together, and it's really now when it will happen, I guess.
From a timing perspective, I think we're aiming for the second quarter of this year. So as you know, as typical in these deals, you need to seek antitrust approval and some regulatory approvals. So we're awaiting those. And as soon as these are completed, hopefully we'll be ready to complete and close the transaction. And we're aiming for the beginning of Q2.
Okay, so Q2, we'll see that. And then just, can you talk to me about the content? Because obviously that's the great thing. We know that a lot more people are consuming content there, and obviously that's what you guys do, and it will be better content and more of it, and more choice. Is it you will share content across both your platforms? You will create a new platform? Just if you can say at this early stage how it will work.
I mean, I can tell you we have great content, and we're very excited about our slate this year. We launched yesterday True Detective, same time with the US, which is starring Jodie Foster, and we're expecting big shows after a long strike from Hollywood for the last 6 months. So content is flowing back in, and we're very, very excited about what's to come. We have The Regime with Kate Winslet. We have another season of House of the Dragon, which was one of the biggest pieces of content. So the content that you used to see from OSN will keep on flowing. I'll let Elie answer how will that be combined with as well the extremely deep library of Anghami.
Yeah, so as Joe said, we're now one company, but that have two products, right? I mean, the merger means that we have two products, one company, and currently the two products will remain separate but interconnected. That does not mean that this will not change in the future, but I'm talking about now. What will happen as of Q2 is that there will be a revamp of the actual OSN product, OSN Plus product. So when we say OSN right now, it's always OSN Plus. We're talking about the streaming service. So OSN Plus will be, you'll get an updated app, an app that actually, the technical infrastructure of Anghami is, been taken over, because that's the whole point of the merger. There's a lot of tech involved in it. After all, it's a tech company, so we're actually taking all of the learnings, the lessons done in streaming, and integrating them into an app that we're actually, working to create a better app that would contain much more features we'll talk about later on, and obviously housing the great content of OSN Plus. That app will be tightly coupled with Anghami, means that the user that is using the Anghami app can, immediately jump over to the OSN ecosystem and vice versa. At the same time, all the learnings and the lessons and basically the taste of the user that is on OSN will be migrated to Anghami, and vice versa. The billing infrastructure will be also connected to throughout, and will be able to provide some functionalities from one app into the other. But it will be, it will not be across all of the catalog, but it will be when it makes sense. So for instance, Joe just mentioned the True Detective. True Detective also has a podcast. The first episode of the podcast is there now. So you'll be able to, start watching the first episode, but connect on the podcast directly with Anghami. And we're probably going to be selectively doing certain premieres across platform, vice versa. So basically, it won't make sense for you to start watching the the True Detective on OSN and then say, oh, I have to go to Anghami. So we'll integrate the podcast directly on OSN so you can actually, just get to be able to spend more time on True Detective. So there will be a lot of these particular integrations that will happen.
Yeah, no, thanks for that. So Elon Musk famously says Tesla's not a car company, it's a tech company. And that's really what you guys are saying as well. We're technology companies who happen to have great content. So behind the scenes, there's a lot of technology that's being, I don't know what the word is, revamped, improved, merged. That's what's going to take the time, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a lot of that goes after the whole idea of merging is like, why are we merging, right? We're merging because we're taking the best of breed of the content of OSN plus the premium content that OSN Plus has, and the user base and the brand that OSN has created over a long period of time. We're taking also from Anghami the brand and the startup mindset that the company has, as well as the technology that it has created, and we're kind of merging them together. So we're taking the music that we've been working on for a long period of time, but under the tech infrastructure, and merging it also with what the best of OSN Plus, and creating basically a tech company that has at its core media, music and video, and talking to the same user base. And those are the reasons why we merged basically.
Yeah, I think just to add on, Justin, I think tech is always, a very strong enabler, and customers have very high expectations today, and also they have some issues or some areas where they want more improvement. Like a lot of people spend a lot of time trying to find something good to watch on a streaming service. That's a common problem. And I think what we're building is going to enable us to offer our customer a better solution, because we're going to be able to collect a lot of data on what the customers like, what they're watching, what they don't watch, what they're stopping. We can do that across music and videos, which will enable us as well to serve and recommend better content for our clients and hyper-personalize the experience, which we believe is key in streaming services and stream operation. That's one example and one area where a tech company with media at its core can actually offer its clients a much better service that will help the business in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, when we heard about it, we thought, this makes a lot of sense. It's a great fit for both you guys, great synergies. And so with Anghami, you mentioned the app exists, will be revamped, and you'll obviously continue to work on that. For OSN, what changes will we see for the customer sort of initially? What are the first things will they start to see change?
I think what Elie answered in a couple of minutes ago was actually relating to us, and what we're doing is we're revamping exactly our own app and our own offering. So the app, as soon hopefully as we close or shortly thereafter, the customer is going to see a clear difference in the performance of the app to start with right now, and I think that's going to help. And then all the other features that we're going to start adding later on, one of which is obviously the recommendation engine and so on. So you're gonna start feel the difference immediately, but then it's gonna get better with features.
Okay, will we see a rebranding at all across both platforms?
It's not in the cards right now, but we're never say never to anything.
I think on the brands. The brands, we both benefit from very strong brands that are very well known in the market, homegrown brands. So Anghami has its own appeal and is extremely well known in the region, as well as OSN. So, we were trying in this deal to probably build on the strength that we both have and leverage. So why discontinue one of the brands? I think let's run with what we have for now, and then see if there's a need to change, we will change in the future.
Yeah, and earlier you mentioned new features. Could you tell us more about what new features we might see as users?
We believe the app is going to take be revamped. I don't know the word. You actually also had an issue finding the word, so we're re-engineering the app. First, for us, what makes sense is that it has to be way better for the user. For me, it's like way faster. I mean, this is basic stuff that, it might not be considered a feature, but it's from a user perspective, that the best thing that the user would expect, right? It's much faster to use. And we also believe that in terms of for a media app, recommendations are really very key. So basically, when I open the app, the time it takes you to start playing the first asset, whether it's a series, it's a movie or music or anything, is super important. The more we actually understand you and actually know that you would most likely would like to see something, so it actually put it in front of you, it just takes you a click to start playing, that would be a measure of success. The time to start is a measure of success. The completion time of whatever we also provided to you is another measure of success. Those are very important. But in terms of basic feature, like that you would expect, that from something that didn't exist before and is available right now, we believe that adding 4K and Dolby Atmos is super important, and is actually critical to the region, because no local platform provides 4K and Dolby Atmos, and we believe that users in the region really deserve the best in terms of functionalities and feature. So we'll be providing that as of the closing of the product and the launching of the new product. Closing of the transaction, launching the new product.
Yeah. So as you said, you'll have a greater understanding of users. You'll be able to give them content that they actually want and recommend better content. I wanted to go back to the beginning and find out how this came about in the first place. Did you guys just meet in a coffee shop and say, hey, this would be a good idea? Or was it a long time planning? Maybe it was during COVID or during the actors' strike that you thought, look, we need new sources of content. Just intrigued to know how this conversation and how we got to where we are.
I mean, that's a good one. I'd let Joe start it.
I mean, this is we met maybe, what was it, 2019, Elie? I think in 2019, I think OSN was just starting to embark on its journey in streaming at the time. And I think they had a product called Wavo. It wasn't even yet OSN Plus. And I think we were looking at ways at the time to explore, to see how we grow the business, how we build the business. And Anghami was very well known in the region, and particularly known for its great tech. And I think at the time we met, we kind of explored ideas. But it wasn't the right time, for a multitude of reasons. This, didn't work then. We just tried, we explored it. And I think for users, probably they would remember at that time that we tested with Game of Thrones season 8. I think we tested it and we had it up and running on Anghami under the brand still Wavo. And I think the tech team did something ridiculous, 5 days. And we're super impressed by their capabilities. So the idea stuck in my head. It wasn't the right time. And fast forward, when I got involved in OSN and I came on the board, I invited Elie to join the board. So Elie has been on the board actually of OSN for the last, now it's the second year with the ship. So he got closer to the action. I got to understand as well the business better and closer. And then earlier last year, we're like, this makes a ton of sense. I don't know why we wouldn't do it. So we then put our heads together and put the plan, and we got the blessings of the shareholders, both sets of shareholders and boards, and here we are.
Yeah, and of course there's a bit of regulatory approval that's needed, but I can't envisage, and I'm sure you guys have a better idea of any sort of issues with that one. So Q2 should really be when we see changes. What about OSN TV? Because that's sort of being split now, isn't it? They're away, so you can focus more on the TV side of things.
Yeah, I think OSN TV has been, operationally we've split it. There've been two departments under one company. Now there would be, further split into separate sister companies if you want. OSN TV still provides its services right now in the new box. So we've relaunched about 3 months ago. We've announced it in our CX Summit, a new OSN TV box, which can go dishless if you want to. So you don't need a cable and a satellite anymore. You can just plug it into the internet. It's a better UI UX. And the value proposition there is that you would be able to see basically watch your channels, your linear channels, whether these are the OSN very well-known channels, the OSN movies, premieres, the OSN showcase, etc., or some of the local free-to-air channels. And you can do that as well with pause and play and trick play and all of that. In addition to that, you have an ecosystem of apps. OSN Plus is one of them, and Anghami is another one of them. And you get as well, we've just launched right now our TVOD proposition, where you can buy the latest movies that are still playing in the theaters. So the proposition of OSN TV evolved. It will include as part of it the OSN Plus offering and Anghami, but it will be addressing a different market that is looking for a bigger aggregation, that is looking for linear TV as well as on-demand content. And that will be running in parallel as a sister company to Anghami/OSN Plus.
Yeah, no, thanks for that. I want to ask now, post-merger, when it happens there, will you be able to invest more in local content, more Arabic content? Is that part of the plan?
I think Elie and I both agree, and I'll let him answer that. I think we believe there is demand. There's a lot of demand for quality Arabic content, and we believe that now Anghami/OSN Plus can play a big role with our scale and our size. We can provide customers a different kind of local content that basically that will appeal hopefully to their tastes. So as soon as we conclude the merger and we get the regulatory approvals and we get the new product launch, that will be next on our agenda, is to explore how best to do that. But we admit, both of us, that I think there is demand, and there's an opportunity for us to play a role. I don't know what you think, Elie.
Yeah, I just can reiterate what you just said, honestly. I think we had an experience in Anghami in terms of local content. When we started back in the days, we never thought that local content would be that important. We thought, Western content and local content, probably Western, there are much more Western content than local at that time. So we thought it's gonna follow the trend. It took us a while to understand that we only have 1% all of our catalog. Only 1% of our catalog is in Arabic. Only 1% of the music catalog is in Arabic, but generate more than 60% of the traffic. And the demand in Arabic is super important. And unfortunately, there's a lack in production of Arabic content at the same time in music. In music, in video, in anything, there's a lack. So based on that experience and the learnings that we've done and the production also that we've done on music content, we believe we need to take those lessons and apply them at the same time with OSN. Now, obviously, we need to decide what do we dive in, and we have to be really picky into how we build up a new slate of Arabic video content. But yeah, it's in the cards.
Yeah, there's an incredible figure. 1% of the content is in Arabic, but it generates 60% of the traffic. That's
yeah. It's and you notice it across everything. Just a tiny tidbit. The other day, I noticed that we put up the press release of the actual OSN and Anghami. We put the press release in English and in Arabic. Guess how much traffic on, via SEO, via Google landed on the Arabic one versus the international one? 75% read it in Arabic, 25 read it in English. Same thing for the Amru Jab, because we've got Amru Jab exclusive and we put a PR on Amru Jab. It was 65% actually in Arabic, that one. But again, it's whatever you do in the region, we have to remember that in terms of numbers, people who are going to want to read Arabic are more than the English ones. And in terms of the availability of content, there is just not enough Arabic content. So you end up wanting more, reading more, listening to more, watching more. So that's it. So in terms of what we notice is that people in the, when they listen to music in Arabic, they tend to listen to the same multiple times over, or whereby in English, not as much the same content. clearly, you know, Blinding Lights from the Weekend, a lot of people listen to it again and again, probably Beatles or whatever. But in terms of Arabic content, the factor of how many times you listen to a top Arabic content song, let's say Fairuz, versus anything in international, is not even close to the same factor. Why? Part of it is we don't have as many content to listen to.
Yeah. And we talked about listeners, we talked about viewers. What about advertisers? What's your sort of message there for people, the advertisers, which of course, you know, an important market too?
I think
Yeah,
the message is we have 120 million registered users and 2.5 million paid subscribers, and great content to you know, great content to surround them with. So, I mean, joking aside, but that's a bit true as well.
And you're meeting,
obviously, and you know that's something that Anghami has been doing quite well in terms of growing the advertiser base, because we are a freemium platform. Unlike OSN Plus, only you have to pay to watch, to listen. Sorry, and you have to pay to watch on OSN Plus, but you can listen for free on Anghami. But you have to pay to access the premium functionality to be able to pick whatever you want to listen or download and so on. But we're going to take a lot of those lessons and apply them to OSN Plus. We believe there is a market for advertisers also on video, and we're going to be releasing something around that towards the end of the year. But there's definitely interest, and we definitely think our combined user base will be, advertisers would want to reach that combined user base, and we're going to make it available, obviously.
Yeah, we talked about sort of timeframes after the Q2 and after the actual, sort of the proper merger there internally, externally. What's the sort of long-term plan? Is to start expanding into other markets, offering, other services there? What are you thinking?
As a public company, because Anghami Inc., is the public company holding now, as of closing, will hold Anghami and OSN Plus. A lot of the things we cannot really talk about stuff that we've not divulged them publicly, right? So I'll leave that to the right time. So I think the roadmap that we've been talking about publicly involves launching in Q2, launching a new revamped product on OSN Plus, also revamped on Anghami to provide the integration of OSN Plus, as I mentioned, having the same billing, a new advertising infrastructure for both apps, more features and functionalities across OSN Plus, a promise to build Arabic content on video, much more promises that we cannot really dig into today. But we're a tech company now. We're a tech company, but at the same time, a media company, a new media company that's built on top of technology with super premium content when it looks either on the movie side, on the Arabic side. All of that propose, that we can, do even much more. But the idea is over the first year, really build our proper infrastructure, build a combined product and launched it, and really scale. Scale is the first thing that we want to dig into, because we do believe there was a lot that was left on the table, and we really need to step up and really be all over across the Arab world with a proposition whereby we're telling people, don't just listen to music, also get video. And if you only have the video service, let's get the music. But at the same time, we're providing something that is unique in the region, a proposition whereby we complement, not just on music, Arabic or international, but also on podcast, on audiobooks, on movies, series, much more maybe later. But right now, let's just step up and really get into a premium positioning across the region and increase our user base, our free user base, paying user base, regardless, grow up to be the media service that we want to be. And we'll discuss later on. Yeah, I mean, we'll leave you room for next year to have a different episode maybe.
Absolutely. Joe, did you want to add anything to that?
No, I think I mean this is what Elie and I discussed. I think the way I look at it is the same. I think I look at the ingredients, and we have all the right ingredients to succeed and scale up and build a big business. We have great technology, we have great content, we have a great team, and we have strong brands. And you put all of these together, the sky is the limit. So, but as Elie said, I think we just have to be focused on execution. It's very nice to dream, be ambitious, and we are. This is the move we've done is bold enough and ambitious enough. But I guess as well at time you have to be very focused on executing and doing the fundamental pieces first. And I think that for us is build the right infrastructure. And once that is built, then we can take it to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the campaign podcast to come in at under 30 minutes. So we're sort of definitely on schedule, and I've asked all my questions. So I wanted to just finish up with what I'd call, we're media men, we like sound bites. What would be the best sound bite to describe what you guys are doing? I mean, you could call it a milestone, transformational, a turning point for Middle Eastern content. How big can you go, as in what you're doing here, as in how significant is it?
I may just answer it, bold and ambitious. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I like bold, I like ambitious, I like transformative to both industries, to both companies, and to provide a new media giant in the region. All of those are just great words that you can use. But at the end of the day, the proof is in the pudding, and we do believe that you just need to wait to launch the new product, and you'll comment on it at the right time.
Absolutely. So Elie, Joe, it's been a real pleasure to talk to you, and thank you. I know you're busy men, so it's great. And as you mentioned, please stay in contact, because I'm sure there's going to be lots more going on, and fingers crossed it all goes to plan, is on schedule.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you, Justin.
Brilliant. Thanks for your time, and thanks for organizing it, everybody.